Hey y'all, I figured I'd show a little more, or show what a little bit of progress I've been making with my crawler transmission here. The other evening I spent a few hours and played around with this right here, and I put my bolt pattern in it from last time. I still got to do the other side. It's still blank yet, but it takes a little time to get the dowels and so on, dowel holes put where I want them. Make sure that they're where I want them to be. So there's my progress with this, and I got another piece in the transmission that I got to deal with here. This one shaft, it has a couple gears on it, slide back and forth to mesh with other ones with the forks, and it's got two bearings on it. And the main reason this transmission went and had to be taken apart was not only because of the original piece that this is going to replace, but also it had water in it. The person had let it sit outside different times, and the rubber boot on the shifter was old, and it let water get into the transmission through the shifter. So that's always bad. So there's one of these Timken bearings on each end of this shaft. There's one here. There's a little clip that fits in a groove here, which I'll show it up close here in a minute. And this bearing, there's one of these bearings that fits here, and then there's another bearing that fits over here. And over here, this bearing apparently went out. I can't remember, it's been a while ago now, but a few of these bearings had come apart. You know, the cage came off, and the needles all went everywhere in the transmission. They were laying all over in the bottom, and the shaft went flopping around everywhere. This shaft right here is the one that comes out of the transmission and goes by way of a little drive shaft to the engine. So this thing right here runs as fast as the engine does, you know, upwards of 2,000 to 3,000 RPM. So you imagine how bad it would be when this bearing goes out and this thing flops around in the transmission with the gears and everything on it. But it didn't really hurt a whole lot, except for this spot right here where the bearing went. It's wore down. So I was going to build it up and regrind it in on the lathe, and with a tool post grinder, and get this spot back where the bearing will fit on it real nice. And so I was going to show about that today, I guess. I was going to spend this evening welding it up. So as you can see right here, it's worn down, and you probably can't see in the camera, but somebody has already before welded this thing up and done what I'm doing now, the way it looks anyways. The metal, it just has that look to it, like it's been welded up and re-ground in. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this thing here in a minute. As soon as I shut the camera off, I'm going to sandblast it to get it nice and clean, and I'm going to stick it in the oven and take it up to 500 degrees for welding it. And this right here is probably a piece of 4140 shaft, and if it had any kind of heat treat to it or anything like that, it's not going to hurt it to take it up to 500. I don't want to really go a whole lot higher, because it could affect any heat treat that it might have had to it. But I'm going to TIG weld these spots up, and I'm going to use a hard rod, which I don't know if the other person might have done that or not. It doesn't look like it. It seems like it's soft. But I'm going to use a hard rod to so that this little surface right here will be hard, and it hopefully will tolerate a little bit more of abuse and last longer. So that's about it. Here we go. Okay, well, it's been a little bit here now, and I have it heated up have it heated up from in the oven, and about ready to start welding on it. So here it is. I decided to take it up to 600 degrees, and guess I'll start welding on it. I'm going to alternate back and forth crossways and so on it to kind of help balance the heat. pretty well do it for tonight. It's pushing 10 o'clock. I'm ready to go. Call it an evening. So I'm going to sit this back in the oven and let it cool down overnight, slowly. Hopefully by rotating this around and so on like I have, doing a little bit all the way around, it doesn't heat up one side or the other any faster, and hopefully it won't bow like a banana. So that's about it.